Hello and welcome to a Project Go Create video. Today I'm going to show you how to make these two celebration cards using some of our new spring summer items and one of our annual catalogue stamp sets. So it's the Touches of Texture stamp set, and I'm going to use this kind of floral image just there. So I've inked it up with two of our markers. We've got the Blushing Bride for the pink and Pear Pizzazz for the green. It is my favourite kind of green I go for. So I'm just inking up the flower parts of the stamp, and then I'm going to go over the leaves and the stems with the green. And this is a really easy way of adding colour to your stamp, and the markers especially help you to get lots of details. So if you're doing trees and things like that need more than one colour, then this is a great way of doing it. And our markers you can get in our colour sets as well. So I'm just stamping down at the edge of the card. And if you lift off, you can see a nice crisp image, and you usually just breathe before you stamp, and it just re-moistens any of the ink. So this is our Celebrations Duo embossing folders. It comes in a set of two. One is Happy, the other one's Celebrate, and you run them through the Big Shot, and they actually make a debossed image rather than an embossed image, so the pressing goes into it. And if you want to make sure that you avoid any cracks, if you spritz it with water first, then it helps you to avoid any cracks from the deep impressions. And then I'm using our new watercolour pencils to go over the leaves and the flowers. Now you can obviously leave them as a line image, or you can go over them as well. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a darker line where I see the shadow is falling. So if you imagine the sun, being maybe to the top right, then I'm doing a darker image, and then I'm going over with the blender pen just the darker pieces first, because the blender pen will actually pick up a little bit of that colour, and then if you go over the lighter bit second, it leaves them light. If you don't rub off the pen on the side, then you end up making that darker pink travel right across, and then you've just got like a bright pink flower rather than any tone or texture. And then I've done the same for the green, and that's it finished. And then I've just wanted to add a little greeting, so I'm taking the Endless Thanks stamp set. We also have an Endless Birthday one that's beautiful, and the Blushing Bride ink pad. And because it's a photopolymer set, you can see right through it. You can see exactly where you're stamping, and you can get it lined up. And then it's just a little banner point for the end, and I've laid it underneath the card just so I can see roughly where it falls, and I want to snip it off before the L. Or is it the B of Celebrate? And then I'm cutting it into a little banner point. And then again, if you line it up with your card, you can see exactly where it needs to be snipped off rather than cutting it too short. And then I'll just pop some dimensionals underneath, just a little strip, and that'll help pop it up and just add a little bit of dimension. And I stamped the image twice, and then I cut out one of the leaves and the buds, and I popped that underneath my example as well. And then to finish it off, I just grabbed some of our Sending Love embellishments. These are beautiful wooden embellishments, and the little heart or the flower would look great, so I went with the little solid heart and just a glue dot to add those on. And you just press the heart against the glue dot and then carefully lift off, and the glue dot sticks to it. So that's that. And then just to add a little bit of detail behind, I took our Falling in Love pattern paper, which I did a really poor job at showing you. I'm very sorry. These are kind of like, they look like photographs. In the back parts, they look like kind of the bokeh effect, and some beautiful kind of very subtle, soft backgrounds. So nice paper, not too girly paper. And it's very kind of Tip Top Taupe colouring, rather than this one particularly, rather than crumb cake. So I've used the Tip Top Taupe colour as a card base. And I've just put dimensionals on, and I went back and I put one in the middle just there, just to lift up the middle, just to lift it off the background, and then snail onto the card base. And then for the other card, I did the same thing again. That's the little bud that I added on after. And I did the same thing again. I didn't colour it in, I left it as a line image, and I added a little bit of the burlap. I cut off the edge, and then you can just pull out some thread, so you can make it thinner if you want to. You can give it a frayed edge like that, and use one of the other hearts. And then that's a little ink splatter out of the same stamp set. So you've got a few different ink splatters I think I would have stamped it off first rather than stamping it straight on. You can't see the texture quite as well on the video, but it's more of a, it looks a bit more smudgy on the photo, and that's them. So if you would like to order any of these, you can go to quickandeasycrafter.com. You can send me an email and I send a thank you gift with every order. Thanks for joining me.